Next up, we have an exciting talk by Kearns McCoy on the use of electroluminescent imaging to look inside solar modules. Claire currently works at Clean Energy Associates, a North American-owned solar PV and battery storage quality assurance, supply chain management, and engineering services firm. Claire is the area head for field testing services, where she assesses solar technology at project sites to find defects or causes for underperformance. Claire holds a BS in mechanical engineering with a focus on power conversion from MIT and worked on module R&D for SunEdison prior to joining the CEA team. As you can see, Claire enjoys climbing some formidable mountains. Please welcome Claire.
So today I'm going to be talking about electroluminescence imaging, also known as EL, which is a non-destructive technique that can be used for detecting defects in PV modules. Investments in PV are made under the assumption that modules are going to perform predictably and reliably for 25 to 30 years. However, the presence of module defects can result in modules that fail to perform as expected, or can even result in a safety risk, which is why it's important to understand what condition your modules are in. Before I get too deep into this though, I want to take a step back and talk about some of the components that make up a PV module. PV modules are made up of cells, which are the part of the modules that convert sunlight into electricity. These cells are then electrically connected to one another and packaged into the module. The module provides protection for the cells from the elements as well as mechanical stability. Defects in modules can result in all or part or one or more cells in the module failing to produce as much electricity as desired. This results into a loss of module power, which will then result in that module producing less energy than has been expected of it. Even a small loss in module power can quickly add up to a large loss for the owner of a large PV asset, which is why the industry has developed a lot of tools that can be used to detect module defects and understand module performances before they result in a huge financial cost for the owners. Unfortunately, most module damage is not easily visible to the naked eye, like the ones you see here, which is where tools like EL come in. EL serves as an X-ray and allows you to look inside the module and see how each cell is performing and the condition of each cell. Electroluminescence is the light that is emitted when a module is operated as an LED. And while this light is not visible to the naked eye, it can be captured by a specially adapted camera. And the resulting image is an EL image. When you're looking at an EL image, what we want to look for is for areas that are darker than the surrounding areas. The areas that are darker indicate an area that's performing worse. Additionally, if you see an area that's all black, like the one you see over there, that indicates that area of the cell has been completely electrically isolated from the rest of the module and is therefore not generating any power at all. The module you see here was dropped, and from a visual inspection, you couldn't tell that anything was wrong, but an EL image revealed this module was actually severely damaged and has these 5 blackened and cracked cells. I'm now going to talk about some of the major defects you see in EL, starting with microcracks, which, as you can guess, are cracks that form in the cell. Because of the structure of the module, these cracks aren't going to result in the cell completely breaking apart, but they will result in potential power loss and a potentially complete isolation of parts of those cells. Most microcracks start off small and harmless, but as the module is subjected to stress during shipping, installation, and operation, those cracks can grow and become a much larger problem. The module in the next slide was subjected to a simulated wind event. And as you can see from the image and before, microcracks are present, but they're not yet causing a problem. However, after this simulated wind event, those microcracks have started to isolate areas. You can see the dark spots starting to form, and that's an indication that those cracks are now going to cause a problem for the module. EL can help you find those cracks early. Another defect is weak soldering. This is a defect that occurs during manufacturing when the connections between the cells aren't properly formed. And this can result in all or part of a cell either suffering from increased resistive losses or becoming completely electrically isolated. Light and elevated temperature-induced degradation, or LETID, is a form of module degradation in which some cells will degrade faster than others and result in this checkerboard pattern, as you can see here. This occurs over the first couple years of a module's lifetime and can result in up to 10% power loss in that module. Every module undergoes EL imaging at the factory before it is shipped to ensure that defective modules are not shipped to the customer. Once the module has arrived at the power site, the project site, EL imaging can be used to ensure the defective modules are installed, to find installation defects, and then also if you have an underperforming plant to help understand if that's due to module defects. EL imaging must be done during the dark. And so in order to conduct EL imaging during the day, the modules must be uninstalled and put into a dark chamber. In the field, this is often accomplished with a trailer, as you can see here. At night, the modules can remain on the racking, and EL imaging can conduct the entire strings at once, which are powered through the inverter and the DC combiner box. This is really helpful when you need to test a large number of modules at once, as in the case that's about to follow. The owner of this project realized they had a serial cold soldering defect that was causing power loss in a lot of their modules. And in order to file a warranty claim with the manufacturer, they needed to identify each module that was affected and also demonstrate that the problem was caused by cold soldering. EL imaging at night was used, and they were able to find 5% of their modules that were affected and file a warranty claim with the manufacturer, who then replaced those modules with new and undefective modules. What I hope you've taken out of this is that module defects can represent a serious risk to investments in PV, but there are many amazing technologies such as EL imaging which can be used to detect defects and mitigate that risk.
Thank you.